Hi family, it's Bree here. I'm in my car awkwardly filming right now because I'm going into work, but I just had something that kind of rested on my heart this morning that I wanted to share with you guys. So I want to talk about science and Jesus. Right now, our nation is in a crisis with coronavirus, with the riots going on, with just all the craziness that's happening, the division, and it's easy to have that affect us individually. I know that I for sure have been affected. And so I want to talk about our brains and how we respond in crisis, and where Jesus sits in that. God created us so intricately that everything just connects in such a way that fascinates me. So when we're in a time of crisis and our body is responding to stress, what's activated is our sympathetic nervous system. Now, our sympathetic nervous system, that is what prepares us for that flight, fight, or freeze mode, right? So whenever we are startled, we go into stress, our body prepares for how we're going to respond, which is great back in the day when we needed to be scared of like a physical threat, right? But we've adapted that into kind of more emotional threats as well. The fear of getting coronavirus, the fear of what these riots might do, the fear of what's happening within our government, the fear of what's not happening within our government, whatever fear or unwanted emotions might be invoked by what is happening in the world, our sympathetic nervous system is activated in that. So what happens when our sympathetic nervous system is activated? Well, acutely, what happens is our pupils will dilate, we won't be hungry, you might have, your bowel movements might be a little bit different, your salvation is going to be a little bit different. Like all of these things, what happens is your body takes away things that aren't necessary for functioning and puts all that energy into things that are necessary for functioning, in order to get you away from that threat, okay? What also happens is your adrenal glands start pumping out hormones that are great for acute stress, but over the long run, they can deteriorate and not have the best of effect for the long term in your health. And so where does Jesus come into all of this, and how do we manage that in this time of crisis? Well, I kind of thought about that story when Jesus and the disciples go out on the boat and a storm comes up, right? And the disciples, their sympathetic nervous system is activated. They're freaking out. They're like, Jesus, we're gonna die and you're sleeping? Because his sympathetic nervous system, it's chill. He knows, like, he's peaceful. I mean, that is supernatural peace right there, right? So how do we get that? When I think of Jesus and his life and what he valued was what we might now call meditation, right? He took time to be with God. He took time to seek his face. He took time, what we could do today, reading the Bible, getting to know how Jesus operated, getting to know God's heart. These are practices of meditation, which really allow our stress, our sympathetic nervous system to reorient and focus on something that not only calms our mind, but also calms our spirit, right? It grounds us back in our Father. The other piece that I think of with that story of Jesus walking out on the water, and taking action. Now, I'm not trying to promote anything per se. What I want us to do is take action in God by seeking his face in this time, right? Praying, worshiping, doing things to reconnect. It is so easy to be activated by what we are seeing on social media, on the news, and have us to have this fleshly response to how to respond. But we need to use wisdom and not allow fear, not allow those things to just overtake. I can't help but kind of think about how when they went on that boat, it was Jesus saying, let's go, right? And knowing that our God is, he's aware of what's happening. I can't help but wonder, like, did he know that there was a storm, or was there any inclination? So it's okay to be in these storms. But what we need to do is, again, not allow ourselves to be within the circumstance, but see over it to Jesus, right? Seeking him in that. By reading the Bible, by prayer, that's meditation. In therapy, we call it coping, right? Maybe in Christianese, it's called wisdom. So I just encourage you guys to think about how your mind, how your body is reacting right now, and look inside your heart and your mind and see how you're responding to those things. And are you, seeking out, holding Jesus's hand, looking at his face while you're walking through this, or are you allowing yourself to be stuck looking simply at the circumstances, which is easy to do. I don't want to shame anyone who is doing that, because there's a lot going on. Just remind yourself to check in with Jesus too. All right, I love you guys. Reach out to me. Miss you guys. Have a good day. Bye.